When I was 6 years old, I put on plays for all the neighborhood parents, and I used to go around and sell tickets, and I'd set up all the chairs in my living room, and I'd create like little plays for the neighborhood parents, and I'd get all the kids in the neighborhood to act in it. Act is something I've always wanted to do. I went as far as I could living in Northern California. So in San Francisco, you can do like extra roles. I did extra roles like on Nash Bridges. I was an extra on The Rock when they came to film there, and then did a bunch of independent films, but you can only do so much in San Francisco. So I was like, okay, time to move to Hollywood, and moved to Los Angeles. And my first gig, I think, was 90210, and then I went on and did 2 episodes of Love Boat and some independent films, and then I got my big break, which of course was Baywatch, when I was cast as the lead in the series Baywatch.
You know my story, right?
Hey, Brande, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you in the car?
I am. Yeah, I am.
What a great studio.
Exactly.
You get to work from your car. That's
Exactly.
great.
I was visiting my parents today, and their Wi-Fi went down, and they're in a very rural area, so I drove up to the top of a mountain to get.
Oh, bummer! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's good though. It's all good. So I appreciate you taking the time today. I will jump right in on everything and kind of give you like about 30 seconds on kind of where the podcast has been going and what the line of it is. The common theme of everything with what we do is talk to people like yourself that have taken action upon ideas. So really, we want to empower people to not just come up with ideas and sit around with friends and family and just talk about things, and actually take action and execute upon them. I also have a common theme with myself that comes through, as well as others, of overcoming adversity and constantly evolving and constantly learning. And that's one of the big reasons I wanted to reach out to you. I feel like your career is just a constant evolution and a development of you as an artist. And I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk about that. So we'll jump right in. And
Brande Roderick. Hi guys, I'm Brande Roderick, actress, producer.
Excellent, Brande. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I want to jump right into creative vision. All right. So something we can easily sit and talk about a lot of other things, and we'll get to your career as a whole. But I want us to talk specifically about your upcoming film that's coming out. All right. I want to talk about Wineville. And I'm very into that world of the true crime and mystery, and I had not heard this story before. So tell me about how you came about to this story and felt the connection to make a production.
Well, actually, there was no actual story in mind to start off with. We wanted to make a thriller horror film, and my friend has the coolest winery. It's so old. It's been there since the 20s. Really cool place. So basically, we went there and scouted it out and had the location first, and then kind of built the story from there. And and kind of started with the characters too, because I knew I was going to be myself. I knew my son was going to be in the movie. I knew I wanted to make a really effed up movie, a real crazy family psycho dynamic, kind of like actually the movie Psycho, right? That was a very psychological, really messed up family. And that's pretty much what Wineville is. It's taking some people, they're serial killers. And the thing that I like about our film is it has a great plot, whereas a lot of horror films, you don't have like real stories, and this has real stories. And it's also based in the 70s. But the thing that we had are some great twists and turns that you're not expecting. And for me, when I'm watching a crime or thriller or horror film, you're always trying to figure out who did it, right? And what's happening. And the thing I like about our film is you leave it going, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing I really love about our film is the twists that are in the film.
Now, when you went through in that winery, were you always going with the realm of horror in your mind, or were you going with a real blank canvas when you approached that winery vision?
No, definitely horror, thriller horror is what I wanted to make. It's that genre is something that I loved since I was a kid. My very first horror film was The Exorcist, watching it with my mother at 6 years old on the couch. My mom is pretty demented in the head. She's always loved horror films my whole life growing up. every birthday, we slept out in the back. We'd watch a horror film. We'd sleep out in the backyard, and my dad would come out and scare everybody in the tent. So it's like kind of been a part of my life. And when I found out that horror is the easiest genre to sell in the film market, I was like, sold. I'm doing it.
Let's talk a little bit about a lot of times I interview brick and mortar businesses or e-commerce businesses and things like that. You're the first in the realm of production and dealing with actors, actresses, as well as sets and timelines and things like that. Talk a little bit about what brought your passion from in front of the screen or in front of the camera to behind the camera.
Well, I've been in the business for a really long time. I'm a dinosaur, over 20 years. But what happened was during COVID, there was no work, right? It was very sparse. Then we went through the strike. There's all these things happening. So there's no work. So I'm like, you know what? I got to create the work myself. I already had started producing 3 films prior, which I was just, a co-executive producer. And on this one, it's my baby. I did everything. So I was just like, you know what? I've been doing it. I think I can do this on my own and create something fun that I want to do. And that I have, the say from start to finish, and really put my stamp on it.
For the characters and everything like that, are there any characters in this that exemplify different people in your life? And you don't have to mention names, but are there any personal experiences you bring into this?
Definitely not.
I realized as I asked that, I was like,
if there was, it would be pretty creepy. And but we could start a rumor. And then maybe I'll get everybody to watch it. Yes, it's true. It's about my real life, and it's fucked up. No.
Now, when I was doing I don't normally do a lot of prep, but when I saw the movie or saw the premiere coming, I just wanted to know a little bit. Now, when I was going through, is there any true story to the serial killer story of it, or is that part of, or how does that kind of tie in?
No, but how it ties in. So back in the 1920s, there was a real life murders that happened in this town. And if you ever saw The Changeling with Angelina Jolie, that's a true story about the what they're called chicken coop murders. And they happened in the town of Wineville on Wineville Road. And it was a horrible, horrible massacre of young boys. And we actually are filming on Wineville Road, just down the street from where the chicken coop murders happened. And the reason why we kept the name Wineville of our town and of our movie is because this town called Mira Loma, which is called Mira Loma now, but it used to be called Wineville. And the town Wineville got so much bad press because of the murders of these small children. They changed the name of the town to Mira Loma. So the only affiliation is that we actually shot on the same road in the same town down the street from the chicken coop murders. So it was all, still eerie or whatnot, but totally different stories.
Did you get any with that kind of situation there? Did you get any backlash from locals or anything like that, or was everybody very welcome to having a production in town?
We don't know yet. We'll find out when it's out if people say anything, but I hope not.
Let's talk a little bit about your career, and I want people to understand that obviously this is your first official jump into the production side of things.
No, this is my first producing film that I solely produced myself.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So but the other 3 I produced with studios, but this is my own production company.
Awesome. Well, let's go all the way back to when you originally. I want to go to the beginning of your career. I want to go to the moment where was the moment that you started and you realized that you wanted to become an actress?
That was in my living room. When I was 6 years old, I put on plays for all the neighborhood parents, and I used to go around and sell tickets, and I'd set up all the chairs in my living room, and I'd create like little plays for the neighborhood parents, and I'd get all the kids in the neighborhood to act in it. So act is something I've always wanted to do. I went as far as I could living in Northern California. So in San Francisco, you can do like extra roles. I did extra roles like on Nash Bridges. I was an extra on The Rock when they came to film there, and then, you know, did a bunch of independent films, but you can only do so much in San Francisco. So I was like, okay, time to move to Hollywood, and moved to Los Angeles. And my first gig, I think, was 90210. And then I went on and did 2 episodes of Love Boat and some independent films. And then I got my big break, which of course was Baywatch, when I was cast as the lead in the series Baywatch. So
And
that
when
was
you went,
that.
when you're working in the TV side of things, how different is TV to film, and or is it not really? Can you not really compare it today like you could in the past? Like, are the two so staunchly different that they're not really the same anymore?
Gosh, you know, I guess they are pretty similar. I mean, television, we would shoot 5-6 days a week, and around the same amount of hours, I guess. It was usually around 12 hours. A film, it might be a little more stressful because you have only a certain amount of time to get what you need to get done. And typically you're, you know, working 12-hour days, 6 days a week, at least on independent films. But there's just a little bit more of a sense of, I think, an urgency on an independent film as opposed to just a regular series where you're doing it every day and it's, you know, more chill, I guess.
Was there when you go through in the collaboration process, when you're going through in the very beginning, do you have a big committee as far as that goes, or how do you guys go through with the creative process to drill down into your storyboard?
Well, we didn't storyboard. So we did not do that on this film. But as far as if you're saying, if what you're meaning is like pre-production,
Yeah.
Tons of pre-production and post-production is everything. Like, I think we were in pre-production for a whole year. And then when you're in shooting in production, we only shot for 2 weeks. And then post-production is, you know, another year. Like, we've been in the process. By the time it comes out, it will have been from start to finish, where the idea came, almost 3 years for this film. So it's been a long process. And when you're actually shooting, you know, that's only like a couple weeks. So the pre-production and post is huge. There's just so much to do. It's crazy.
And today, in today's world, with promotions and the way things are changing with social media and everything like that, is it the same today in 2024 as maybe 10 years ago, where you're going out on a press junket and everything like that? Or how do you do the promotions leading up to a movie in 2024 now?
You know what? It's so funny because there's not a lot of promotion, because the way the society is now, it's so like instant gratification, click on it. So now it's like, if you start talking about the movie and saying, go watch it, and they can't go watch it, you know, they're going to forget about it, right? So it's almost like you got to wait till it's out so you can talk about it and they can click on it and watch it instantly. So everything right now is so instant gratification that you almost don't want to do everything beforehand. You want to kind of wait till it comes out. Whereas before, when we didn't have social media, you'd get the hype going months in advance because get people excited about it, and they can't wait till it comes out. But now it's like, we want to see it now. If you're going to tell me about it, I want to see it right now. And they want to be able to click on it. So that's where social media has changed everything, or technology.
No, it's true, and it's interesting that you say it that way. Like, any promotions automatically need to have the full source there. You know, you're right.
Yes.
If you put trailers out too much in advance, then people are bored and they move on and they think that was the trailer, and then they told somebody and they never click it again.
Yeah, you got to have it ready to go.
Let's talk a little bit about risk taking. All right. So in your career, you've jumped through a lot of different areas, and I know from looking at your career from a fellow business owner's perspective, everything's very strategic, and I really can tell the strategy in which you go through your process. But from the back end of your side, what are some criterias when you kind of look at taking a chance? If you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to break the grain a little bit on this job, and then I'm going to go back to the middle of the road on this job. What are some driving factors for you that would cause you to kind of go out and take a little bit of risk every once in a while in your career?
I mean, I'll take risk all day personally. I like taking risks. I mean, even in Wineville, I did things that are shocking, and I wanted to shock people and push the envelope. So I always want to think outside the box and do things that people aren't expecting. Yeah, I'm definitely a risk taker for sure.
When you were producing Wineville, were there any new techniques or anything like that that you were trying out in this? That I mean, not any secrets you don't have to give away or anything like that, but any new try some new strategies?
Well, I really thought I was doing some new shocking things, and then I watched something and I'm like, wait a minute, they're doing what I did. So I'm hoping people don't watch that one.
You got to watch them in the right order.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be as I don't want to make it sound like it's such a disgusting movie, but I wanted to be as sick as possible, as demented as possible, and give as much shock value as I could while giving such a great story behind it that could be believable. I mean, that's what I like creating, is stuff that could really happen in real life. You know, it's not anything fake or like mysterious or any of the supernatural. Like, this is real shit that could go down with some really messed up families.
So let's talk about this specifically, producing with Wineville, and this being the next step into your career and another chapter and another piece on the cliff and climbing that ladder. How do you feel this has affected your personal growth with the production with Wineville?
Well, it's helped a lot in the sense that I know what I want to do. I know that now that production and producing, that's my jam. That is where I thrive. That is my happy place. I mean, that's the part I love. And of course, acting, hands down. But producing, being on the creative side, coming up with the stories, that's what I enjoy doing. And so that's, really opened that door for me. And I want to continue to do that. So yeah, definitely.
Do you have any behind the scenes moments or stories that you can share as we're going to launch this the same day as the film coming out? Anything that
Oh my gosh, there probably is. But I mean, one thing, I don't know if this just comes to mind, but oh wait, I don't know if I could say it because it might give away something. Well, there was a scene. So my mom was on set, and there was a scene where I had to be in a compromising position where, if done wrong, I could die. Let's just say that. And so my mom was freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, is that safe? Is that freaking out with the safety guy, and." So I was like, Mom, you really have to leave. Like, you have to leave this set right now because this is going to drive you crazy. And then there was a scene where my son was in kind of a similar situation where he was crying, Mom, Mom. And I'm like, oh my God, now I know what my mom was talking about. This is stressful. Like, I can't. And I would like almost like started crying because it's like when you're hearing and seeing your own child and, going through these situations, it's really scary. So that was interesting. I didn't really expect that, but yeah, that was crazy.
I'm very glad you brought that up. That's really interesting to be a parent on set when that type of thing happened. I think about you reminded me immediately when I was in 8th grade. I was in a arts council play, and I had to be slapped in the face. And I was 11, 12 years old or whatever. And
Yeah.
my mom was at the rehearsals and stuff, and this man had to like slap me in the face, and I was like, no, literally slap me. And my mom was like, no,
Oh
can
my
we play? And I'm like, no, just give it to me.
She must have been freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah. I look back at that would never have happened today in today's society, but back then
I know, right?
A 12-year-old was able to give his own consent to be slapped in the face by a man.
Isn't that funny? I know, it's such different times.
Let's go a little bit about for your back a little bit to the evolution of your career. And I really enjoy how you going from television to then reality shows and then to movie production and things like that. How do you feel like that's affected your career, and both not necessarily in a negative way, but just in a positive way, and kind of given you multiple angles and lenses for how you kind of see your art?
Um, I think that, I mean, if anything, it's just good to be pliable and be able to adjust to whatever's happening in that day and time, really. Because I will tell you, when reality first started, I was so against it. I was like, oh my gosh, they're taking away our jobs. Like there was a Survivor, Real World, and all this stuff. And I was very negative about it. But then all of a sudden, all these shows started popping up. And I'm like, oh gosh, if you can't beat them, join them. Because, that's what was becoming. And we were starting to see, ooh, this is where it's going. And so when, at the time it was WB, Warner Brothers, they approached me to do The Surreal Life, which was going to be the very first ever celebrity reality show. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it, and went and did it. And I'm so glad that I did. And I really enjoyed reality, especially competition-based shows. I've done so many of those, including The Celebrity Apprentice and Celebrity Fear Factor and, Battle of the Celebrity Network Stars, all this kind of fun stuff. So for me, reality is like fun. It's the more where you could just go be yourself and go and have a good time. You don't have to learn lines and get all serious or anything. You just get to be yourself. So that's easy, right? So that's kind of a fun thing to do. And then television is so great because, you have a constant paycheck, you have a constant job. Like, what's better than that, And then films are so great because you get to go and be different people all the time and get to create these fun, different characters. So I love it all. I'm glad that I'm able to do all three of them.
You talked a little bit about your son joining you on this project and your mom on set and things like that. How does your support system in your life look like as far as that goes? Do you have business mentors as well as family, or how does that kind of all blend together?
I don't think I really have any business mentors, but my family, my boys, they're supportive, but they're into their own thing. They love football, and I'll always say, if something comes out, hey guys, you want to watch mommy on blah blah blah, and they're like, I'm good. I'm like, golly, so. But my mom, she's always like, wanting to watch everything I do, so that's exciting. But my kids are like, whatever, mom, like they don't care about this stuff. Maybe when they get older, they'll care, but not now. I was even like, hey, you guys want to watch like any of my old Baywatches? And they're like, no, I'm good. It's like, whatever.
You can't win on any of them. You can't win on with the amount of work.
They don't care.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, how about as far as future projects and stuff like that? Do you currently have some others in the works? I know obviously you have to work in staggered timelines and phases and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, we're definitely like in real like go mode right now on Wineville because it's coming out on September 10th. So we're really working on that. However, my next project is going to be a series. So working on that, which I'm excited about. We're starting the pre-production process of that. So that's in the works, but really, trying to get everyone to watch Wineville. That's my main goal right now, but definitely working on a series next. The thing about Wineville is that I do need to make, the disclaimer that it is shocking, that there is going to be sexual violence and, all the things, the pre-warning, just telling everyone. But it's definitely, if you like thriller, excitement, all that kind of stuff, then it's going to be a good watch. Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Brande, well, thank you so much. And I will have all the tags of where everybody can reach out to you, and then we'll be dropping this. So everybody, as we speak right now, Wineville is ready to go, and you can find it below. All the links are posted out here below. And thank you again, Brande, so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I'll be in touch.
Nate.
Hey, Brande, thank you again. You have a great rest of your day. You take care.
Thanks. You too, Nate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you're an aspiring entrepreneur or one that's looking to expand, contact the FreeMind Network today, and we'll help you scale, we'll help you start. We're going to be there for you, in your corner.
You know my story, right?